You are listening to the IFH Podcast Network. For more amazing filmmaking and screenwriting podcasts, just go to ifhpodcastnetwork.com.
All right, Britt, welcome back to the show. Tell everybody who you are real quick. I know you, but they don't.
I'm Brent Lambert-Safino. I'm a filmmaker in Atlanta, and I run the Peaberry Film Festival in Canton, Georgia, which will be premiering Jennifer Dunn's short film Spooky Grandpa. And,
nice. Perfect.
And today I'm here at I'm here at South Georgia Film Festival. On the ATL film, this is such a long intro.
This is going really well. This is perfect.
I'm physically present in this space with you.
Yeah.
Because I have two films here. We have
two films.
We have Lost Cause, which we've talked about before.
Mm-hmm.
Which is the feature. It's a Southern Gothic feature film that we made in 2020. We shot in 2021, finished up last year.
Mm-hmm.
So this is our first film festival experience with that one. And then I have a short documentary called Cooking Inside From Prison to Home, which is playing a little later today, and is a short documentary about formerly incarcerated people making food exactly how they made it in prison.
Oh, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How did that one come about?
Well, I think last time we were on, it was Adrian and I were talking.
Yes.
And so Adrian told a lot about his story about how, so Adrian produced Lost Cause. Adrian went to prison for 3 years. We've been friends since college, and during COVID we hadn't spoken for like 4 years, just because he was living in New York and he was a lawyer, and I was in Georgia and I was doing my own thing. And during the pandemic we met back up, and I was telling him about like what I've been doing in quarantine, and then Adrian, I was like, "What have you been up to?" And he's like, "I just got out of prison. You're the first person I've talked to about it." And I had been telling him about this movie I was writing about these people in the South who were it was like about the opioid crisis and things like that, and that reminded him a lot of the people he was inside with. So he said, "Let's make that movie." So he produced it, but the whole time we were trying to figure out, well, how do we tell Adrian's story? Because Adrian didn't want to make a movie that was a bummer. He didn't want to do just like a talking head. This is why prison needs reform and all this stuff. Because Adrian's a lawyer and has been in politics for as long as I've known him. And like, he can speak eloquently about it, but I don't think either one of us was interested in just making another movie that makes people feel bad, about the world.
Right.
So one day he was telling me this story, and we were just chatting, and I hadn't heard this one yet, but he was talking about how when he turned 30, he felt really bad about the fact that he turned 30 in prison, and he got out of prison, and he was looking at Facebook, and he was seeing how all these people had to go do things crazy on their 30th birthday to feel like they like really lived it up. They had to go skydiving, or they had to go out and get, shit-faced and whatever. And but Adrian, what he did was he spent a whole week just trying to make tacos, because he had to put together like a MacGyver system in order to get all the ingredients, to get hot water, which was hard to get, to get what was it? He said like in prison the Muslims had spices because their families would bring them spices. So you would talk to them, you'd trade.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was trying to figure out, you also had to have a big guy around to eat the meal with you, because otherwise people would come in, try to get your food. So the big guy's just there to be like, I will hit you. And so he was like explaining this whole situation. And as he's explaining it, it was kind of hitting me that was the story. That was because he was telling me everything about how brutal and dehumanizing the prison system is, without preaching it. He was just saying like, yeah, to make tacos, I had to do like an enormous amount of like legwork and a lot of it was illegal in the prison. Breaking rules, breaking locks, stealing this, whatever. So yeah, long story short, he we decided to try to make a documentary that's a cooking show, but instead of chefs, it's formerly incarcerated people making food exactly how they made it in prison.
Yeah.
So you're like in a person's kitchen where they could have a much easier time making this food, but instead they're, making it that way. We got a loud movie.
It's a great soundtrack to your story.
Yeah.
No, that's really interesting though. Have you thought about maybe it could be a series or something? Because I feels like that could be on the Travel Channel or something, or like the Food Network or something. Like,
yeah, that's my like galaxy brain version of it. Is to because we did one, and it was kind of like, for me, I think for Adrian it's great, because for Adrian it helps him tell his story, and it's helped him already. Just like having a documentary where he shares his story, and we've been to a bunch of festivals with this one so far, and it's always been great to see people react to it. But yeah, I think for me personally, it was like a testing ground. Can we do 22 minutes of like telling the story? And we had way more footage than we used.
Yeah.
And there were all these stories while they're telling. He brought a friend named Cassie Stewart, who also was inside with him, who made the food with him. So it's two people, and their dynamic is so great. But even in the middle of them making a meal, they're like dropping or planting seeds of all these other things that they didn't talk about. So while we were filming, it's just like, yeah, we could do a lot more of these episodes, because people have to be so creative in there to get any food that they want to eat.
Yeah. And on a deeper level, just have that sense of normalcy, like you said. Turn 30, and like everybody does that all the time, but doing it in prison is a different story.
Yeah,
that's really interesting.
We've also got like even just sharing the documentary, you end up hearing people talk about they introduce you to other people they know who have been inside. So like we had a cast member from Lost Cause watch the documentary, and she goes, do you know this person in Atlanta? And we introduced them, and this person had spent time in prison, but he's vegan. So his cooking stories are wholly different.
Oh, wow.
He's just like, how do I get the beans and the tofu and the whatever that I can?
Oh, wow.
Because they don't really care as much,
Yeah.
sometimes when it's just the prison food. But yeah.
Man, that's great. And I mean, Lost Cause, I mean, you were on talking about that. It seems like so long ago. I feel like you shot the sizzle reel for it. Or was it a short film, or was it sizzle?
God, we did like a short film sizzle thing.
Little both.
Yeah,
okay.
Which was great. For filmmakers listening, I knew that you're supposed to shoot short films and sizzle reels, like before you make a thing, but I hadn't practiced it in a way that then got the movie made. But it was really nice, because when Adrian was interested in Lost Cause as a project, that I was able to just send him a link to a thing that's like, yeah, this is kind of the vibe, we're going for. And then that, I think when he immediately showed people in his network, and they were like, yeah, that sounds cool. So Adrian's involvement was easy. It was easy to get him on board, because we already had the project kind of looked. We knew what it was going to be like.
Yeah. And it's all one location.
Location.
That house.
Yeah, in Canton.
Yeah. Did you use local connections for that? Did you have to do a lot of location scouting to find that?
Yeah, because of the Peaberry Film Festival, or the Etowah Film Festival at the time it was called, we had gotten a good connection with the Cherokee Office of Economic Development. They're really helpful for, they have like a whole list of things. They have a database of people who live in Cherokee County who want to be maybe involved in movies if they could be. They have a location, they have whatever. So I just sent Molly Mercer is the she's the head of the film component of co-ed, it's called. But I just emailed her, and I was like, I need a creepy farm. Do you know where a creepy farm is? And, and she it was great, because she got me in touch with 3 people. 2 of the farms were okay, but one of them was like, this
is super creepy.
This one's great. Yeah, this is really creepy. Yeah. And the best part was that when I got there, they were really excited to have a movie made there. They had no one had hit them up yet. And they had these donkeys.
Yeah.
I had this script that had chickens in it because chickens were cheaper. But if I have donkeys now, I got to rewrite the whole movie. So I rewrote the movie around these donkeys, and now they're like the best part of the movie because donkeys are photogenic as hell.
Yeah. Did you have any diva donkeys that were just like,
they were,
come on, donkey, do the donkey thing, and they're just like, no,
dude. I was so worried about it because all we had was Rob Hurst, who was the owner of he was the owner of the property and our liaison. He kept warning me about the donkeys, being like, you got to do this with them and you got to do that, because they won't listen to you or they'll scream. They were so well behaved when the cameras came on. There's like shots where I just left the movie at a shot that was like one of the big donkey shots that I was like, please don't screw this up. And there's not one take where the donkeys did anything wrong. It was
perfect
the
actors.
Screwed yeah. The donkeys were great. They're just, as long as you're feeding them, they're just happy. Yeah. I miss them. I want to be around those donkeys all the time. Yeah.
And both of these films are premiering here, or have you had screenings?
Cooking Inside's been going around the festival circuit. So we did that. Adrian lives in New York, and so it was a big deal that we got into Queens World Film Festival there, which was he lives in Queens. He's a big Queens fan, so that was really cool, I think, for him to see it. We played at the Museum of the Moving Image. That was that was wild. Yeah.
Oh wow, that's cool.
Yeah, I got to go see like real Muppets because that was what was at the exhibit.
Yeah,
they had the real Muppets, and then I got to go watch the movie.
That's cool.
We like that, yeah. But this is the first time we're screening Lost Cause, but we're going to have both of them at Peaberry, and Cooking Inside's probably going to be in a couple other festivals coming up here.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, why the name change to Peaberry?
So we were at a Film Festival when Lane and I were partners. Lane lives in Canton, and at the time she was on the tourism board. And then the COVID happened, and it just shrank the festival so much that it was tricky, and it was so much work for like not a lot of output that we could get. But then I started a new production company called Peaberry Productions, and
okay,
with Lane doing her own thing, and me having more of an inroad that way, then the city kind of reapproached and was like, "Hey, do you want to bring this back? We don't want it to go away."
Yeah.
So that was nice. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's really cool. Well, tell everyone where to find information about you and shout out any upcoming things that you got going on.
Thanks. Yeah. So Peaberry Film Festival's in Canton, Georgia, on April 28th through the 30th at the Canton Theater. But submissions are still open. So if this comes out before March 17th, I think is our final.
Wow, that's really close to go time.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. That's all I'm going to say about that. Yeah, what idiot made that schedule? But so Peaberry Film Festival's coming up. Both movies will screen there, and we've already got a bunch of movies that are like set already. Gonna be great. I'm very excited about this year, and trying to turn Cooking Inside into a TV show coming to a streaming service near you sometime.
Yeah. Everybody at Food Network, listen up.
Yeah,
that's your next hit right here.
Yeah, that's right.
I would for real, no shit. I would watch that. It's really cool. But thanks for coming on the show. Everybody, give Brent a round of applause.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. All right. So, who are you? Introduce yourself real quick. I don't know who you are.
My name is Jennifer Dunn. I'm a screenwriter and filmmaker based in lovely Canton, Georgia.
Okay. Yeah. And so welcome to the South Georgia Film Festival. Is this your first time attending?
It is, and it has been really amazing. Like, Valdosta State University campus is beautiful. The students have been really fun. I had a bunch of students at my screening yesterday, and I don't think I've ever been to a screening so full of college students. They're very responsive and just loud, and it was wonderful because they laugh at the right spots and they go ooh and ah at the right spots. It was really fun.
Now, how did you know they were students? Were they like taking notes and like doing TikToks and stuff?
What?
Like during
I actually profiled them. Probably shouldn't have done that, but they were all like college student age.
Okay.
A lot of them weren't wearing film festival passes.
They look really lost.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure that they were Valdosta State students. I could be wrong. They could just be like interested people who were there at 2:30 on a Friday afternoon.
That's true. Yeah. That's just how amazing the South Georgia Film Festival is.
It's true.
Now, what is your film all about?
It's called The Service, and it is about a woman, and what's actually kind of about all women. Women of a certain age, you can say, over 50, kind of become invisible, especially when they're, checking out your books at the library, or they're serving you hors d'oeuvres at a party, or they are cleaning your house. And it's about a woman who counts on that for some nefarious purposes.
Okay. And you said you wrote the film, but you
did.
did not direct. You have directed, but
yeah, I don't love directing. So yeah, if anybody would like to, totally share my vision and just like kind of let me download right into your head, but you do the directing, that would be great. I would love to find a director.
No, why do you not like directing? I'm the same way. I'm a screenwriter. I've directed. Not a fan, but why specifically do you not like directing?
I don't like telling people what to do. I don't like being there on the day. Wow. I wish you guys could see his face just then. I did used to be Chuck's boss at an old job, 2 old jobs.
2 jobs.
I like telling Chuck what to do, no one else. No, just I guess all the nitpickiness of it. Like I'm kind of, it takes all kinds to make a world, as my grandma used to say. And I'm more of a big picture person. Like I want to put the idea out there and then let somebody else like deal with where this little piece of sound design goes. That little nitpicky stuff just drives me insane.
Okay. It's funny. It's like pulling different levers in your brain or something. Because I have produced things, and I produced for Hootie Who Productions, and I didn't think I was going to enjoy it as much as I did, because I'm not the most organized person. But you have to be as a producer, and I for whatever reason, I really like putting the stuff together, and especially getting home at the end of the day and like saying, all right, did we get everything? Nobody died, which is really important. Everybody got fed, which is like way up there, because if everybody's fed, then everybody's happy.
Everybody's fed, nobody's dead. That's your tagline.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So if we got all the footage and we're good, and all of a sudden I was like, oh, it's not as fun as screenwriting, but it's just a different part of the brain, I guess.
I'm meeting a lot of writer producers lately. I don't know if it's just because I'm meeting more people, or it's just kind of people, people want to be writer producers. Yeah. I meet plenty of writer directors, or people who even start writing just because they want stuff to direct and they don't know how to meet other people. I guess the takeaway there is just, network and meet other people who don't have your skill set. I think a lot of times writers like hang out with other writers, and then, DPs hang out with other DPs or whatever. And I know that my actress, she's a SAG actress. She was in Cobra Kai. She's in Loki. She's super cool, but she didn't really know any writers to reach out to. So she just reached out to the Atlanta Film Festival, and that's how she and I got kind of hooked up, because she's like this well-known actress, but she doesn't know any writers. And that's kind of bad. Like, so, what if everybody had a cool actress that they could just write for on the fly?
Yeah.
It'd be pretty amazing.
Yeah. Well, talk about writing The Service. What was the origin of the tale?
So the actress Susan Gallagher, she's also the producer. She is often cast. Now she does play homeless Val in Cobra Kai, so it's a fun character. But she's often cast as sort of the upper class housewife, wife, like a rich lady. But she wanted me to write her something that was a little different, like something that comes from more of a background of like poverty, addiction. And I said, well, yeah, of course, that's what I write about every day. And so I actually had to drive somewhere the day we talked. And on the drive there, I immediately came up with a story. It was like that fast after she asked me to come up with something for her. I was like, oh, this is it. This is it. And I ran it by her. She loved it. I pitched it to her, and then I went home and wrote the script. We only wanted it to be, a short, something we could shoot in a day. It's 5 pages, and it's not that long. And that's where it came about.
Now, and you were telling me yesterday when we were hanging out that there was some pretty interesting stories about the actual production, that things did not exactly go to plan. Do you want to talk about that?
Of course. So it's February in Atlanta. February is like our one cold month of the year, generally. not this year, but most years. And it's about 20 degrees. We arrive on set. I think call time was 7, something like that. We're like, oh, we got plenty of time. Yeah. Yes. AM, producer Chuck. So I get there. The power's out at our beautiful like Atlanta mansion near Emory. I'm like, oh God, this is bad. But we signed up for the Georgia Power alerts, and they're like, oh yeah, power will be back in an hour. We're like, okay, we can deal with this. And pictures up is an hour. We're we're good. The gaffer and the grip both happen to have Jennies on hand, so that was thank God. But hour, comes and goes. Georgia Power texts us again. The power will be back on in another hour. We're like, okay. Hour passes. The power will be back on in 4 hours. Like, are you kidding me? So we just know that we're going to have to film pretty much all day with no power. We're freezing. I have hot hands in my feet, like in my socks. It's that cold. It never got above freezing the entire day. So I got there at 7. I'm leaving at midnight. Everything took longer than it needed to because they were having to deal with the generators and the sound and all that stuff. I'm the last one there. I've made sure everything's locked up. I'm the producer. We're the most important person on the set, of course, and in charge of everything. And so I'm leaving. I start to back out of the driveway. No cars can come back and forth. It's a very like a small residential street. As soon as I start to back out of the driveway, a Georgia Power truck like runs by me. I'm like, really? There you guys are? Really? At midnight after we did this whole thing and no power? Yeah, it's fun times.
But you told me that story, and then I went and watched the film last night. I couldn't tell. I thought you guys pulled it off really well. Like if you hadn't told me the story, I would have had no idea. I thought everything was gonna be like super dark and be like, oh, just imagine what it's like. But no, you pulled it off.
Like an HBO show.
You're right.
Yeah, that's what we were going for.
Well, that's really cool. And so was the premiere here at the South?
It was. Yeah, this is our very first film festival. This is like, we just started around Christmas, just putting it in film festivals. So yeah, it's what, March now? Yeah.
Yeah. Is it still out there, I guess, trying to get traction elsewhere?
Exactly. We did this film festival, one, because it's a cool film festival. I've heard good things about it. And two, our main actress, the Susan Gallagher, she lives in Florida. So it was kind of in the middle of Atlanta and Florida where she lives. So we were going to try to all meet here. That didn't work out, as it does with people's schedules and things like that. But we're going to try to, hopefully screen in Atlanta and get a bunch of cast and crew out, because like for us, of course we want the film, we want, Martin Scorsese to see the film, like, oh my God, what a great idea. Jennifer, you're my writer now. But we also just want, our cast and crew to be able to get together and our families and show like this cool thing that we did.
Yeah. There's a viral tweet going on right now about like, it doesn't matter if you film something in your backyard with your friends, like treat it as a real professional thing and put it out there. And you probably get rejected a million times because everybody does. But just you're your own champion, in other words, and you gotta treat it seriously, no matter what it is.
Sometimes it's a numbers game too. Like you never know what's gonna blow up. Like your dumb thing. I've had that happen to me all the time. Like with just like viral tweets. Say the dumb thing I tweet off the top of my head. Like I'm just woke up in the morning. All of a sudden that one does numbers. I'm like, really? This is what you guys care about? So you just never know. Just keep whatever's in your big dumb head and try to get it out there in the world. Yeah,
there's been short stories that I've written that I just taking days, just agonizing over it, and then the ones I crap out, I won an award for it.
Same.
It was like 30 minutes. Are you serious?
Same. I had one nominated for the Pushcart Prize, and I wrote it again in the car. I'm a big get ideas in the car. I thought of it in the car, got home, wrote it down immediately, sent it off to a literary magazine because I was 25. I didn't know any better, and it got accepted and got nominated for a Pushcart. I've never had that happen again because I've also been a lot more careful with all the stories. I guess I guess my brain is dumb and doesn't know how to edit. I don't know. Yeah, you get in your own head a lot. Yeah, very true. Well, tell everybody what's coming up next and where we can find information about you. Sure, you can check out my website, copperheadmedia.com. That's where all my stuff is. And I'm also writer Jen, Jenn Dunn, on Twitter. I'm still on Twitter. I don't know why. God help me. And also I have another short called Grandpa. It's about a nonverbal and quadriplegic little girl who must on her own defeat a ghost that's trying to kill her. We are in post on that right now, about to raise some more finishing funds because COVID really jerked us around on that one. Hoping to premiere that one at the Peaberry Film Festival in Canton, Georgia at the end of April. So you guys, everybody's the Atlanta Film Festival, you should just hop up to Canton, beautiful Rivertown, to the Peaberry Film Festival too. Nice. Now, originally, when you came on, actually, it feels like 100 years ago, to talk about Grandpa, I said you should call it Spooky Grandpa. So I'm guessing you didn't go with that suggestion. Nothing's final yet, Chuck. I don't know. Okay, that's true. It hasn't premiered yet, so you still have time to just put Spooky on the title card. Yeah. Everybody listen to this. Remember, until it has printed and it is on at a film festival, even after that, you can just change stuff all the time. You can just do that. Yeah, it's your movie. You can just do that. That's true. Well, thanks again for coming on the show. Everybody give Jennifer a round of applause. Thank you. All right. Okay. Welcome, Melissa.
Hi. Thanks for having me, Jeff.
I feel like I've met you before, but I can't I don't know. I can't place it. Tell me who you are again.
My name's Melissa Simpson. I am the executive director of Film Impact Georgia.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Film Impact Georgia.
Yeah, the organization that you might be on the board for.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So I see you every month in the monthly meetings.
And indeed.
Okay.
You've also helped us with quite a few events, and he also is our person that puts together our newsletter every month.
Mm-hmm.
So he may know a little bit about us, but in case he doesn't remember, we are a nonprofit that was started in early 2019 to build better foundations for independent creators based in Georgia. We offer a biannual film grant of $5,000 that also comes with a mentor of their choosing. And we are actually open for submissions right now until March 11th.
Mm-hmm.
Those M months, they'll get you. March 11th at 11:59 p.m. So if you're in this room or you're listening and have a script, please submit. You can go to www.filmimpactgeorgia.org. The submission process is pretty easy. We require a script. We require, or an outline if you're doing a documentary. We also require an inclusion statement, which an inclusion statement essentially is a description to us sharing how you'll be thoughtful on and off screen with diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I hear roughly $35,000 have been given out to filmmakers in these grants.
Indeed. Since fall of 2019, we have given $35,000 to Georgia creators. This eighth cycle will make $40,000, which we're incredibly excited. And we're also excited to be launching new programs this year. So if you're listening and you have some extra money that you would love to fill the pockets of creators in Georgia, I highly recommend Film Impact Georgia.
Yeah, maybe some student loans have come in and you're like, what do I do with all this money?
Yeah. Let's see if we get those student loans forgiven.
Right.
I'm waiting on you, Supreme Court. Don't mess this one up.
Realistically, let's say someone wins this grant and they go, okay, I can make my short film. What does that do for them? You know, like what doors does that realistically open, do you think, just being able to make their dream short film?
Yeah, the reason why we chose short films specifically when we started this grant is it's an opportunity for filmmakers to really cut their teeth, learn their craft. It's an opportunity to make mistakes and learn without, taking out credit card loans to do it. And then it builds their resume. You never know if somebody sees your short film at a film festival and they go, that was really great. I need a director for this, or I really need a producer for this project. Mm-hmm. Essentially, that short film can open doors for your career.
Yeah. And what's been the most not exciting, but just what's the best part of doing Film Impact Georgia? What do you get out of this?
Well, we're still a volunteer-led organization, so I don't get paid. Mm-hmm. This is my night and weekend job. But I can't tell you how fulfilling it is to be able to help Georgia creators tell their stories, to tell stories of the South and the Southeast, and make sure that we're ignoring the extractive storytelling that's coming from folks like in LA and New York coming here and telling Georgia stories. That was in quotation marks for our listeners.
I feel like they could feel the quotes the way you said it.
But we want to make sure that these stories are being told by the people who deserve to tell them.
Mm-hmm. Now, have you ever made films yourself? Are you director, writer, producer? Like what's your interest? What angle are you coming from into the film world?
I am a filmmaker myself. I went to school to be a producer. Produced for a while, and then got sidetracked into the world of film festivals, which actually is very similar to producing films. You're still working with people, budgets, schedules. And then in the last year, I've been able to really circle back and start producing again, which has been incredibly fulfilling. I shot and produced 3 short films last fall that 2 are in post-production, and 1 we just started entering into the film festival circuit.
Nice.
So wish us luck.
Yeah.
Us at Film Impact Georgia, we are no stranger to rejection, and I'm no stranger to imposter syndrome. But we really hope to empower everyone to get out there and tell their stories.
What is it about the producing jobs that what is it? Why does that attract you so much? You feel like you're just the most organized person and you just love it?
I am a huge fan of spreadsheets. I know not everyone finds them quite as sexy as I do.
Yeah, who says that?
But it's kind of 2 sides of the same coin of being able to help directors and writers tell their story, because at the end of the day, the producer's job is to make sure it gets done. I know a lot of times we can be dream killers, but it's all in order to make sure that the film actually gets made.
Yeah, dream killers. Yeah. But it takes a team. It takes all kinds, and not just let me dream this big thing and it's going to pop out into reality. It doesn't really work that way.
Well, I mean, if you want your film to take place in space, or you've got 100 locations, then I'm going to come in and be like, I see what you want, and here's what we can do.
Here's the $10 we have.
Exactly.
We can't build a spaceship, or we can try, I guess.
Our friend Raymond Carr built a spaceship.
That's true, he did. That's
with
true.
his film Joyriders.
Yeah, never mind. You can build a spaceship.
Also, former board member of Film Impact Georgia.
Yeah.
So.
And you brought a few past winners of the film grant to the you feel like they're ambassadors. They're just like here to say, look, this is a real thing and it helped me, kind of thing.
Our past winners of our grant have definitely been ambassadors for Film Impact Georgia, which is incredibly exciting and heartwarming to see. And this weekend we brought Chandria Evans and Jeremy Tao. Chandria wrote and directed the film Bloom, and Jeremy wrote and directed the film Walkman, WOKMAN. And we'll actually in our panel be discussing how their process was, how being a Georgia filmmaker shaped their stories. And also we'll be playing clips for the first time, so people will get an exclusive sneak peek at these films that haven't been seen anywhere else.
That's super cool. So if you have any interest in, well, I guess nobody listening to this was there, so go back in time and come to where we are right now and come check it out. But no, that's great. Yeah, having people out there in the world to spread the message is always. It just seems better than just like, hey, this thing's cool. If other people are like, hey, that thing over there is cool, and I did it, it just seems to ring better, I guess.
Yeah. Only so many people will listen to me yell at the top of my lungs till I'm blue in the face about what we're doing. So yeah, seeing these winners go out into the world and play at film festivals, win at film festivals. We've had grant winners that because they won the grant, they had executive producers reach out to them and say, I saw that you won this and, your story's really interesting. I'd like to come on as an executive producer.
That's really cool.
So we hope that this grant will continue to grow and continue to open doors for filmmakers. We also offer benefits to our finalists. Once you've made it into the top 10 of our grant, you become part of the FIG family. We have worked out partnerships with organizations like Studio Service Group, which is a prop house in Jonesboro, Georgia. They have worked out to where our finalists with their film can rent any props and any set dressing for a flat $300 fee.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So we've had filmmakers rent up to $6,000 worth of stuff and only paid $300 for it. We also recently partnered with an organization called Boxed Up. They're kind of the Uber Eats of production rentals. They're very new in the Atlanta market, but they make it to where you can order equipment and have it delivered as quickly as 35 minutes after you order it.
Man.
I know. And they've offered our finalists and our Film Impact Georgia members 25% off their orders.
Wow.
So if you're listening and you're not a Film Impact Georgia member, it's only $35 a year to join. And we provide waiver codes, discounts for film festivals, for submissions, and for attendance. We offer, Chuck himself offers a discount on screenwriting consultations.
Oh, that's right, I do. Yeah.
And I also offer a discount on film festival consultations for any of our members.
Nice.
So become a Film Impact Georgia member, only $35.
And you get amazing newsletters. You should sign up for the newsletter anyway.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Whoever writes those, man. What a talent.
Also, you should follow us on social media. We're Film Impact Georgia on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, and their character limits. We are Film Impact GA.
Yeah.
But you can follow us for all of our updates and all the new programs that we're launching. And yeah, the person that runs those should also really get a raise.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Definitely not me.
Well, I really appreciate you coming on. Everybody give Melissa a huge round of applause.
Thank you. Thank you, Chuck, for having me.
Oh.
And always check out Atlanta Film Chat with Chuck Thomas.
Thanks for listening to Atlanta Film Chat. Subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you find your podcasts. The show is produced by Tranquil Aggression Productions and Zombie Cat Productions. Your host is Chuck Thomas. Editing is by Joshua Goldkey. The soundtrack is by Michael Breezy Keys Jones. I am your humble announcer, Rob Scheimer. Remember, you are your own biggest fan. So go out, make your projects, and don't let anyone stop you.